Hello and welcome to the Experiencing Love podcast. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. This past weekend and today have been very inspirational for me. Very inspirational for what I want in my life, what I want to create, and how I want my life to look. I see a vision for my body and my health and my relationships and my finances and how I spend the weekend and the trips I go on, what I do for fun, what I do to relax, what I do as my mission. I have a vision for it all. And when I think about that vision and I think about where I am now, I'm able to connect the dots. I'm able to connect getting here to getting there simply because I know why. I know my why. I know my purpose. I feel called to teach. I feel called to impact the world. And I also feel this desire for something more and something different. Something more, yes, because I feel like I'm being called to something more. And also this part of me that is searching for something different in my life, something different from what I was always told life was like. We all grew up with some type of idea, some type of script, some type of messaging about what life was like. Maybe life was hard, maybe life's a game, life's a party, life is a challenge, maybe life is a lesson. Maybe you've heard things like people always lie, people always hurt you, people always have a good side. These are all just beliefs that were given to us. Or should I say, these were all just beliefs that were around us, and maybe we chose to accept them, maybe we chose not to. I had a unique upbringing in that I listened to all those things. And at the same time, there's a part of me that early on adopted this belief that I had to do something different to get the love that I wanted. Maybe that could sound a little familiar to some of you. I had to do something different. I had to do something that other people weren't doing. I had to do something that I wasn't doing because I wasn't getting the love that I wanted. It was a simple equation. Somehow I understood very early on in my life that if I always did what I was always doing, I would never get what I wanted. So I accepted these beliefs growing up, and I formed that one alone. I formed that one on my own. And the reason I say I have a unique upbringing, it's because that belief single-handedly caused me to question every single other belief in my life. There came a point where I was incredibly depressed, incredibly anxious. My entire life felt like I was living in a fog and I didn't know what was ahead of me. I didn't know what I wanted, where to go. I was lost and confused and it was painful. It hurt. It hurt waking up each morning, lost, confused, and alone. And then I started to question if that was it, if that's what life was like. Is this what everybody talked about that life was going to be like, was going to feel like? And then I had this subconscious whisper that said, if you want to feel differently, you have to do something different. When I felt like this and I got that whisper, one thing I realized I never learned to do was ask myself questions. One thing I never learned to do was be aware of my thoughts, my emotions, my beliefs, my values, my passion, my purpose. I just accepted what everybody gave me. So it was that little belief planted at a seed years and years ago that led me to just ask the question. Maybe the question was why? Maybe the question was, is this real? Is this true? I behaved like a scientist, just testing everything. And because of that, I stepped back, I separated, and I started asking, what do I want my beliefs to be? What do I want my values to be? And that led me down a lot of paths. I listened to so many podcasts. I listened to so many audiobooks. I read so many books. And then I started going to seminars because that also put me around people that were thinking similar things. For this industry, for this field, I could be pretty young. A lot of the young people I met so far have either been really like me or they've had parents who have brought them in. A lot of my closest friends and family, chosen family, are all much older than me. And I value them so incredibly dearly because they've done this work on themselves. And I feel like they know me and they understand me because they've been through what I'm going through. Or they just have similar beliefs and values. The ones that I'm choosing to create, adopt, practice, and embody. So step by step I question. Step by step I optimize and I find what works best for me. What do I love to do? What do I enjoy? What do I feel called to do? What's my path? There's no part of me that's a mistake, that's an accident. So if there's something that I really love to do, there's a reason for it. We all know that exercising releases endorphins. and dopamine and the feel-good chemicals in the brain, right? But have you ever found that certain exercise is more fun for you than others? I don't find myself sprinting to a basketball court, but I have friends who do. They love basketball with their life. They play basketball, they watch it, they know the stats, they know the rules. They love basketball, and that's their escape. That's their exercise. For a time, for me, it was volleyball. I loved volleyball. Then I rock climbed for a while. Now I'm back in the gym, but for a while I didn't like going to the gym. Same goes for running. Swimming's cool and all, but I don't love it that much. I don't enjoy it as much. I also always loved riding my bike, even though that was more of a multi-hour event. I would usually go for 3-4 hours, ride like 30-40 miles, just out of nowhere. I loved it. And I've named all these different examples, and they all have played a role in my life, but think about all the different forms of exercise I didn't include on this list. So why is it that those specific ones are important to me? Why is it that those specific examples stand out in my mind? And it goes for everything in my life. The foods that I like, why those? The people that I enjoy, why them? There's a reason for all of it. And for a while, I tried to fight it because I would hear things like, you have to live like this in order to achieve these results. You have to do these specific habits in order to feel this way every day. And what I've come to learn is that it's not strictly true. I believe there's categories you should practice every day, right? Like you should exercise every day. But that's not to say you have to go to the gym every single day. It just means to move your body around. So I would fight what I would normally love to do things that I wouldn't normally love to do because someone said, oh yeah, you need to go to the gym. Oh yeah, you need to eat this food in this way. And as I mentioned before, I test things out. I've become somewhat of a scientist where I get all these hypotheses, whatever, and I test them out and I see what works for me. That's part of the game. That's part of the joy. And I love it. I know why I do the things that I do now more than ever. And I continue to learn it even more. I keep going deeper and deeper. And so now that I know where I am now, the vision of what I want, and I also know why I want those things, getting there is easy because that's just the final step. That's the how. The how can happen at a snap of a finger. You could be laying in bed, or my favorite, in the shower, or sitting on the toilet. I've had some great ideas sitting on the toilet. And the idea could just come to you. It's like a bolt of lightning. And when that idea comes, I make sure to grab it. I grab it, I write it down, I put it into my calendar because there's a reason that idea came up. There's a reason that I notice the things that I notice, and there's a reason that I have the ideas forming that I do. Now, not every idea that I have is a touchdown, is a slam dunk. But oftentimes, when I have an idea and I follow it, even a couple steps, as long as I follow the first step, it gives me the insight I need to either continue that strategy or to get a better idea in the future. On many of my resource documents for my business, I have written down the line, all ideas lead to good ideas. That's to say, it's not that there's no bad ideas, but it's never a bad idea to follow an idea until it becomes a good one, a great one, an outstanding one. So I follow my ideas. And that's how I get what I want. I'm in that stage now that I'm learning, that I'm growing, that I don't have the results and I don't have the vision that I want. But I know one day I will have it and I will turn back and I'll see that my path wasn't perfect, but it was worth it. To break through, I don't need the perfect moment. I don't need the perfect path. I just need permission. And there's only one person that could give me permission. It's myself. With this vision, intentions without action is pointless. I could think about my future all I want, but until I actually do, there's nothing. There's nearly no point. That's why I rather take action on a mediocre idea than to wait without action for the perfect idea. Because I'll leave you on this last note. Not every idea is going to be perfect. But if you have the habit of taking action on every idea, when the near perfect idea does come up, you will already have the habit of taking action. Because let's face it, if you don't have the habit of taking action, you may never know what actually is the best idea, the most outstanding idea, because you may just have the habit of waiting for something better. That best idea, the one that nothing will ever top, will just be reinforced with the habit that if I wait, I could have a better idea later. And one day it won't come. One day you will have your last good idea. It may be 70 years from now, but it'll happen. And so the question is, do you want to be ready to take action on that idea? Or do you just want to wait for the rest of your life? I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. You're so special. You're so valuable. Remember to always fill up with the love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.